In this video I want to show and explain a little bit about how this system works. It is a hydroponic system for tomatoes. It's quite interesting. As you can see, the tomato plants are in pots that are watered by a drip irrigation system. The most interesting part is how the irrigation system works. This system does not use a pump. It takes advantage of the potable water pressure, and what it does is, through a mechanism, it doses what is the nutrient solution. So that's what I'm going to explain and try to teach you in this video. The first thing you can notice is that the system is inside a greenhouse. This system is located in the practice field of the School of Agribusiness at the Costa Rica Institute of Technology. If you watched the previous video, you will have noticed that it's the same greenhouse. What happens is that the greenhouse is shared between the NFT and this system that I'm about to show you, the one for the tomato plants. In that other video, in case you're interested, I explained some things about the greenhouse and also show the NFT system. The greenhouse is not something essential to have a hydroponic system. One could have a hydroponic system without the greenhouse, but it does have benefits. The first is that you could work in winter in places that have harsh winters. Also, the interior of the greenhouse is a dry place where there would be less incidence of diseases caused by fungi and bacteria. And also, well, by having anti-aphid mesh, all flying insects will be kept outside the greenhouse. Now, to take a look at how the tomato plants are planted, the first thing that stands out are those small pots. They are maybe about 4 liters, which is really not what is customary, nor do I recommend it for tomato plants. As I understand, they usually require 15 to 20 liters. But as you can see, they are good-sized tomato plants, they have flowers, and they already have fruit. And the next thing is the support they have. As you can see, they have strings that will allow for adjustment as the tomato plant grows. They are indeterminate growth tomato plants that will keep growing. So those supports, those strings, can be adjusted according to the size the plant reaches. And well, to see how it works, you can see there are some hoses. Those hoses start over there at the end. I'll show you in a moment. What these hoses do is they have smaller hoses that go to each pot, and through a drip irrigation, they provide the pot with the nutrients and moisture the plant needs. So this helps reduce costs in nutrition and water usage. So this pipe here goes all the way to the end, up to here, and in each row of tomatoes that this let's say central pipe supplies, from there it goes to each plant. Here you can see the tomato plants. These last rows are dedicated to these other plants that I'm not sure if they are some kind of cucurbit. It could be zucchini, squash. Honestly, I'm not sure, and I don't have anyone to ask right now. But the operation is basically the same. Those small hoses supply the pot which contains coconut fiber. The coconut fiber that will maintain the moisture. I think the most interesting part of the system is the irrigation part. Those pipes and hoses you saw, the pots are supplied from the potable water line. As you can see, it's a line that is shared from the potable water supply. It takes advantage of the pressure from the same potable water supply. What you see there is an electronic timer that allows or blocks the flow of water according to a pre-established schedule, right? Up to that point, the water still comes without solution. It doesn't contain any nutrients. That is done through these systems, which are Venturi tubes. This, for those who know a little about physics, what it does is it reduces the area through which the water passes. Then it increases the speed, the pressure drops, and it creates a vacuum that absorbs through that small hose what is on the other side. Actually, the Venturi tubes are not being used. This here is being used, which uses the same principle but is somewhat more complex. It is a dosing pump that, depending on the amount of water passing through, determines the amount of nutrient solution that it will add to the water. It's like a slightly more complex or modern version of the simple Venturi tube, which are the ones further back or in green. The difference is that these green ones basically do not take into account the flow rate, the amount of water passing through the pipe. So The dosage it makes can vary. In contrast, the pump is more precise with that part and makes an adjustment to the amount it will dose. It is worth mentioning that this system works solely with the pressure of the potable water system. No, it is not electric. And there you can see the tank where the nutrient solution is stored, from which it is taken to mix with the potable water. With the irrigation system, one must consider that, well, this system does not use an electric pump because it takes advantage of the pressure and water flow from the potable water system, which supplies it. However, it will require a certain number of plants to make use of the system, as it needs a certain flow, a certain rate in the pipe to create that vacuum, to increase the speed when the flow passes through the narrowest section and generates that vacuum which doses the water as it passes. I think this is the most suitable system if one wants to have hydroponic tomatoes. Honestly, I haven't had the experience of growing hydroponic tomatoes in an NFT system, but I do know people who have their tomato plants in NFT and it works out perfectly for them. However, one consideration to keep in mind is the cost. If we start comparing what it might cost to build an NFT system of the same capacity, initially considering PVC piping versus these black hoses, it's evident that PVC is much more expensive than these black hoses. That's one thing. And if we think about the irrigation system, the pump and the tank that an NFT system requires versus the dozer that this system uses, it's also much more economical in this system. Lastly, just to remind you that, well, this greenhouse is divided into two parts. The other part has an NFT system. If you're interested, the video is already on the channel. There I explain in a bit more detail how this other system works. And just to invite you to subscribe if you like this type of content. If the video is useful to you, or even if you just like it, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like.